Connie, let's talk about one of the coolest features that has recently come onto the platform in costume management.
Awesome. Well, costume management is a long-awaited feature, especially for our dance studio customers. However, this can be configured to meet specific needs like calling it apparel, for example. Capturing sizes and assigning costumes are a key component for recital events. Using this new feature makes it easy for studios or organizations to gather members' measurements, auto-size the costume based on those measurements, and place their order with the appropriate vendor.
So anybody diving in service level, this is not just for Halloween. It can be for any kind of organization that deals with apparel or costumes or jerseys, whatever it has to be and pertain to that organization. Good deal. Glad we got that covered for sure. When creating this feature, what was sort of the importance behind bringing costume management functionality to our customers?
Great question. For dance organizations, recital events usually function as a graduation ceremony to showcase what the students have practiced all season or a special event program. The time spent putting together such an event is no small matter, and costumes are a huge component. Traditionally, sizing members can be time-consuming, inaccurate, complex, and with our free mobile app and the sizing tool within there, admins can put down that pen and paper and start with an easier process of measuring directly into their database for that easy sizing, regardless if they're in the app or web.
Oh, that's huge. So they can do it from the app, they can do it from the web, and they don't have to do it from pen and paper. You can just ditch that and get that all out of here. Perfect. Well, let's dive into what role are we taking on today for this example?
In this scenario, we're going to take on the role of an administrator of a dance studio who's going to gather measurements, create a costume, and assign members to enable that ordering. So basically what we're going to do is go into our class admin, and we're going to select settings. And within settings, we're going to scroll down, and you're actually going to see an area called costumes.
Nice.
Basically, what you'll have the ability to do is switch what you would like to call it. So for example, if you're a baseball organization or your gymnastics organization, you'd rather call it apparel or uniforms, we have that flexibility for you to be able to call it what best meets your business needs. So
Awesome.
In this particular case, because I am a dance org, I'm going to keep it as costumes. Then we're going to move over here to sizes. Within sizes, this is that key component to help with that measuring and capturing what sizes are important to you and your business when you are sizing up those kiddos. Do you want your parents to be able to size individuals, where many organizations find it to be parents aren't very accurate with it and they choose not to allow parents to do sizings. So this is really enabled off, but if you'd like to allow your parents to do that, feel free to click that box and now your parents can do sizing as well.
So if I trust my parents to size those kiddos, they can do it. And if I don't check that box, then I got control over it.
You're absolutely correct, Simon.
Okay.
So when we scroll down here, now we're going to see what measurements are important for me to capture for my sizing and which ones do I want to enable in my mobile sizing tool. You'll see here we have lots of things that you can capture for a size, but you may only need to capture like girth, bust, and waist. If that's how you're sizing your costumes. So what we're going to do here is enable those three within the mobile app, as well as require those for my sizing to be complete. Within this, we actually allow you to understand which of your students have actually, and/or kiddos, have been sized up based on these three criteria that we've chosen. So we'll go ahead and save that. Okay. Now we'll jump over to the mobile app so we can see how this is actually working based on the settings that we've completed here. So as we indicated, we're going to jump over to the mobile app, and there's actually two locations that you're able to take sizes and understand where your kiddos are. So if we go into the navigation and we select membership, we're going to see member sizing tools. It's going to bring up my students that are in classes, as well as I can filter by classes. So in this particular case, we can see that we have 3 kiddos. We'll see that Amber has been completed for sizing, Billy is not completed, and Sammy has not been sized. So if we click on Sammy, you'll see that will take me right to a wizard that is set up based on those 3 components that we said were important. So if I go ahead and I enter in my size, click next, and now I'm going to take right to bust, and we'll say the bust is 30. And the waist is 23. Next, and hit save. And now we should see that I have now completed my sizing for Sammy. Easy to enter, easy to see when things have been completed. The other place that you can take a size, if we go into attendance. So let's just say that you are taking attendance for a class and you see that a kiddo hasn't been sized. You'll see that there's a measurement that will appear, and I'll show you that icon in a moment. So if we go into the junior, Jazz, you'll see here that there's this little measurement. that tape measure. So if I click on that tape measure, it's going to take me back to that same sizing wizard that we set up. And you'll see again, it's torso because I had entered that bust, but I wasn't completed because I was missing my waist size.
Nice.
So if I go ahead and I enter that, save it, done. It'll take me right back to attendance so I can continue taking attendance for my class.
So if they see that little measurement, they know that they still got one they got to enter in.
That's correct. That means that the sizing has not been completed. So now I would capture that and you'll see now that that measurement tape has disappeared.
It's got to be helpful on the fly. You're going to be taking attendance, see that measuring tape, like, oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. Most of our customers that are utilizing this tool find this very beneficial and are taking measurements right within attendance.
All right, we got settings. We covered mobile. So what does this look like within classes?
Great. So let's go ahead and jump into a class that we want to assign a costume to. So I'm going to pick Tap for Juniors. All right, so here we're going to see our costumes. Costumes is now been enabled, so we'll go ahead and click here. In this particular case, I've already added 3 costumes for this particular class. We'll see that
those are sharp. Gotta say, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but those are just sharp, Connie.
Aren't they cute? In this particular case, there's the 3 costumes. So if we go in here and we can assign our costumes, we can edit a costume, we can post a charge. So in this particular case, I could post the price of $100 right to that account, as well as I could delete this costume if it's no longer needed. So in this case, let's go ahead and just take a look at editing the costume. At this point, you'll see we've captured the costume name, who's the vendor. We do support many of the dance organizations for auto sizing. However, you can go ahead and create your own custom vendor to meet your sizing needs. Your SKU, the color, a photo description. Again, here's that cost and the price, as well as what gender. As I indicated, we had the ones that were for a girl and for a female and for a male, as well as you could have for all, which we did for the shoes. So in this case, we'll keep it as female. Auto size for this costume. Since we are utilizing a vendor that we do support, I've turned on the auto size, which will go to that database and look at the measurements that were applied and automatically size based on that vendor's specifications. So I want this to display to our parents. Many organizations choose not to display costumes to their parents so that there isn't any pushback and they like it or they don't like it. So they have the ability to display this once they've registered for the class or not display it to parents. So in this case, we'll just save and continue. And if we wanted to create a new costume, it would be the same way. We could add additional one here by adding all that same information that we just reviewed on that edit screen. So now that we've actually created the costume, we see which costumes are available for this class, what we're going to do is assign those costumes. So based on the measurements that we did in the mobile app, as well as those that were captured on web, you can see here that things were auto-sized based on that vendor. So based on the girth of that individual, it went ahead and said it's an extra small to a petite adult and an extra small child. So now that we can see all the sizes, so let's just say that Sammy's growing like a weed and she's no longer giving me that extra small child for very long. I have the ability to change those sizes to be, let's just say a small child, a small child. And that way we can order that size. We will keep that auto size on file for you so you can have a record keeping to say what was recommended versus what you chose to assign for that child. So we'll go ahead and save that. Now I'm going to go back and I'm actually going to assign the costumes. Although we have the sizes already allocated for that individual and what we should order, I need to go over here and check these boxes, which will then show up on my reporting to allow me to go ahead and order those costumes for the kiddos. So I'm going to save that. And now if I go up to my ordering report, we should see that those have been placed on an order sheet. And now I can print this off and actually work with my vendor, fax it off, do a phone call, email it to be able to get those costumes ordered.
So we can customize it how we want. We can print it off how we want. We can export it how we want to make sure that all these sizes, everything else is correct. And there are no hiccups come recital time.
That's correct. And this ordering report applies to this particular class and what costumes are within that class, as well as I could post charges for all of the costumes within that class, as well as I could do individual charges here. Wow. So by selecting Amber, I can go ahead and charge them and it'll post right to their billing manager and their ledger so that they will be able to pay for that based on the settings that you've applied in the billing manager.
This is awesome. I mean, every family is unique, so like they should tailor whatever you need to each individual family.
Absolutely. What works best for when you want to charge, how you want to charge, when you want to order. It's very customizable to your business.
Love it.
I'm going to jump over to sizes. We talked about costumes and we did take sizes, but you can also capture sizes on the website. So in this particular case, because we went through the mobile tool and we saw that everybody had been completed. So again, it's all one seamless experience. We can see that they were all completed. And that is because these 3 individuals are in this class. But let's just say I want to size all my members in the organization. In this particular case, there's only 3 members for this organization. However, if you had 200 members or 45 members, you would see all 45 members here and be able to capture those sizes. And year over year, if you wanted to redo your sizes, all you have to do is hit clear all and you're fresh for the next year. So again, that's kind of where we're getting away from no paper and pen needed any longer. All right there on your website.
Yeah, again, can't stress enough how much we can get away from paper and pen. The sooner the better.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump to one last awesome tool that we provide for our customers, and that is going to be the costume dashboard. This dashboard provides admins the ability to see exactly what's happening with each one of their costumes throughout the process. So in that particular case where we said, oh, we're going to order the tap for Amber and for Sammy, even though we printed off, we had the ability to work with our vendor, is because the system's not connected to the vendor, it's really a manual process. So what you would do is come in here and I'm going to say, I ordered these today with my vendor. So I'm capturing the date that I ordered them. You would also be able to say, I received them on the particular date. I distributed them on that date. And remember, we created that charge for that individual. We automatically posted it to their ledger. You can see here on 6/9, we already invoiced that individual. And if I wanted to invoice the individual from here, I have the ability to do that now and post that charge. So here we are back to, we can see it was invoiced. And because we've invoiced, you can see I cannot disconnect it because it was already added to their ledger. We also have the ability to see these are the sizes that were ordered for that individual. Again, it's one snapshot of where I'm at the process, helping me to understand what I've ordered, what I've received, what I've handed out for the kiddos or the family, and which ones have paid for their products. Overall, again, providing a one-stop shop for all their costume needs.
Hard to believe that this is just one feature in so many features in one singular dashboard. Thank you so much for taking us through this, Connie.
You bet, Simon. Thanks for having me. It's such a pleasure to be able to share our costumes feature within our class programs. SportsEngine Motion has so many features, and this is just one of the many features that we're able to offer our customers.
Thanks for watching Release Recap. If you would like to learn more about costume management, remember to dive into our academy for interactive walkthroughs for this and the other many, as she said, amazing features of SportsEngine Motion.